And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
A rebellion has begun! Yep. A rebellion has begun, and what are we going to do about it? You know, what side do you take? How do you do? I've seen this happen before. You know, it's throughout history, you can see it, well, everywhere. But, you know, really good parliament, you know, in the United Kingdom. They always got that, you know, that third little party guy over there that's, you know, waiting for this to happen. And they go, yeah, what they said. And then they'll ally themselves with other groups, and they'll be like the, you know, the Liberty Caucus of this and the freedom-oriented, of that. And they'll build up and they become a majority, and then they're in charge, and the same bureaucracies are there. And the same debt is left. And the same obligations are there. And the same court system. And the same. It's the same. The same. Rhetoric different, same. You know, let me make my point.
Father?
Come in.
A rebellion has begun.
Under whom?
A commoner named William Wallace.
He will embrace this rebellion, support it from our lands in the north. I will gain English favor by condemning it and ordering it opposed from our lands in the south. Sit down. Stay a while.
Yeah, sit down, stay a while. It's like this over and over and over. The 10th Amendment Senator, you know, this is supported by the lands in the north, and who's going to oppose in the south, and then they go have drinks later after, you know, we're still left with the debt. So I'm just going, you know, this is my opinion, and I need you to help me out here. What makes this different? Please share with me.
Well, I think that it's just, number one, what we're talking about is moving away from the idea of being ruled by other men. It's the direction that everything is going in this movement philosophically. I mean, we in the position we are right now, we're in the one-size-fits-all mode. That's really not working out for most people. And, you know, it's a shift. Again, like I said, it's not a shift to transferring, you know, those that would rule us to state level rather than federal level. It's a shift in thinking. Really, what we are talking about is a revolution of thought, and going from people who think of themselves as slaves with no option other than bowing down before this oppressive machine, and changing that thinking to one that says, I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that sits at the top of the American system of government. I'm the one that sits at the top of the food chain, and I call the shots. And that's what's happening. You know, people, the way that they think about it is starting to change. And once you have enough people who are thinking that way, then an entire system of subjugation sort of collapses around itself.
Oh, no, I'm hip. I'm with you on that one, brother. Now, let me go ahead and give you some other impressions I see, you know, some positive steps. Certainly, as time has gone on, you'll see associated with the 10th Amendment Center and the nullification tour and so on, things like medical freedoms, you know, medical marijuana. But then it gets kind of, you know, it's all regulated and taxed, and you got to have, you know, all kinds of government involvement in it, and all kind of the pharmaceutical, you know, industry gets involved, and, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're just same thing. You know, then you have the gun issue. Oh, it's a gun issue kind of, you know, but still it's kind of, you know, a little bit more permission oriented kind of, yeah, okay, same thing. Then you have, well, the states should determine, you know, certain amounts of freedom and food. You know, being able, you know, the S510 thing is what got me scared, and they start doing freaking food. Are you kidding me? Right. So all of this, I see what you're saying is that there is a progression, a break from this being, you know, this one size fits all. But I'm just like, you know, I'm being forced into a one size fits any. I mean, you must have large, extra large, or medium, and you can't get kind of in between if you want to. So am I making myself clear what my concern is, and I'm asking you to address it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're concerned about any situation where there's men who are making decisions about your life, and those decisions may be contrary to what you feel is best for you and your family.
Absolutely. So how do we address that? How do we address that?
That's it. As you said, it's a process. I mean, it doesn't certainly doesn't happen overnight. They've been going the other way. They've been reversing the power for decades and decades and decades. And so it's not something that's going to happen in one election cycle or 5 years or maybe even in the next decade. But ultimately, what we're talking about is just that, is the people ruling and actually taking, assuming the responsibility for their own liberty. And I think that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. It's like people expecting other folks, whether that be elected officials or media pundits or big name radio disc jocks or whatever it is, to fix their life for them. And no, that's not going to get it done. It doesn't matter what system you're in. The people need to reclaim the responsibility of watching over their own liberty.
Okay, now let me go ahead and make this observation and see if you have the same concerns or you have a counter or a method, an antidote for it. The people that you would see would be associated with this, like you have Senator Carol Allen, probably better than many, here out of Arizona wants to get involved. But they're definitely, still Constitution, pledging of allegiance, wrapping in the flag kind of people. And you're going to have a lot of that. People, America, man, they're invested. I call them MKers, man, America. Okay, Americans. So they're going to be invested in this, and any kind of rhetoric that kind of starts to go a little bit more voluntarist, agorist, leave me alonist, this love-evolution kind of mentality. They're going to be, I'm not, and then you start getting into where there's going to be the schism and the breaks and the splits and the whatever. And then you have to where, like the Ron Paul love-evolution was kind of associated, the Tea Party thing. Well, then it starts to separate. Then you go, no, you got this Tea Party neocon kind of whatever over here. And then it starts to come, well, we're kind of bringing it back together, the 10th Amendment thing, and it's against the Democrats, and it just gets so messed up. There's no clearly defined principle. And I need to know what defines the 10th Amendment center. I mean, we are so crystal clear on what?
We are crystal clear on holding them to the Constitution, every issue, every time, no excuses, no tolerance.
Okay. I'm with one enforcement. I mean, the states are going to have to, forego their bailout, which is coming. Next month, they're going to start doing releasing the evaluation of all the pension funds, and they're going to go, you know what? Y'all be broke. And then the stimulus is going to run out by June. You know what? You even broker. You know what we're going to do? We're talking about letting you guys declare bankruptcy. And to do that and to clear your books or to get more bailout from us, you're going to have to toe the line. And that's what's coming. How hard are they going to stand against that?
Well, I think that you're going to see some states take a real hard look at mandates and federally induced costs, which surprisingly in a lot of states don't even get calculated. And there's literally no bean counter somewhere keeping track of how much money the federal government costs the state. And I was speaking to Sam Rohrer in Pennsylvania, and he told me that it's significant. Just
I'm sure
the
it is.
education alone is a huge number. So I don't see it as really being just a one-sided, one-way street. I think that there's lots of ways in which an unencumbered state can actually free up budgetary resources.
Just giving my opinion, having been following this for a long time and publishing Freedom's Phoenix and tracking all this kind of stuff and guests and everything, it doesn't happen all at once, but it does happen overnight. And I'm thinking overnight is pretty damn close. And whatever we advocate as our hardcore no compromise principles now in the next few months, certainly over the next, couple of years, that is what we're going to be known for. That right
Sure.
there. So whatever that is, whatever you want to be known for the rest of your freaking life, you better start advocating it now. Because here it comes. It's going to get centered in, it's going to be locked in stone, saying this is where everybody was when the end came. And I'm feeling the financial end's are coming. So, what is the biggest support that you have at a federal level? Is there someone or something or some entity? Is it like the Republican Party? Is it a Tea Party thing? Is it Dr. Paul, Rand? Who's your support at a national level?
Most support at a national level has been symbolic at best. Lots of gestures, lots of reading the Constitution, but they don't want to touch the real issues. And it's clear that they're still not resolved in Washington, D.C. to reform itself. I think that's something that we can never realistically expect.
So you're looking to the states.
Yeah, well, it's the people. Ultimately, it's got to come from the people.
All right, you're absolutely right. You know, I'm really glad that you took the time to come on, and I apologize for you having such short notice, Bryce, but Bryce did a great job helping us understand where this is going, and we're going to be talking more about it in this next hour and tomorrow and Monday after we have the function, the nullified function here in Phoenix at the Phoenix Sheraton. Oh, the Sheraton that's subsidized by the city.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. Readers of freedomsphoenix.com are constantly provided the information that detail the real news between the lines of propaganda about government policies and the true relationship we all have with coercive governments. Learn the true condition of our economy, innovations and technological breakthroughs in energy, health, computer science, and space travel. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media, the media that is so last century. Corporate media has evolved into nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but we now have a fantastic alternative. FreedomsPhoenix.com provides constant news updates on the issues that affect our lives in the most important ways. Our liberty and our property are under constant attack, and FreedomsPhoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda while encouraging the participation of our readers. Join us at FreedomsPhoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. FreedomsPhoenix.com, where the revolution between the ears has already matured.